Hi, I'm here today to show you how to make a pom-pom with one of these really clever little Clover Pompom makers. They will make the best pom-pom you've ever seen. So it's a little plastic gadget like this, and it's got arms on it that open up like that. And you make the pom-pom in two parts. You make one half at a time. So the pom-pom itself will turn out to be about the same size as the pink part, as a circle here, and you can trim it down to be smaller if you want. So what you do is you open half at a time, and these arms, this comes apart like this. So we're gonna put it back together, and then you open up half the arms, and then you take your yarn. You can use any kind of yarn you want. Doesn't matter how thick or thin it is. The thinner it is, the more wraps you have to do, but it'll work. So you just get started by holding onto it and wrapping your yarn around this open part. And the trick to getting a good pom-pom is to just fill this up as full as you can get it. You just keep wrapping and wrapping and wrapping the whole way around this little half circle. You want to get it up there into the edges. So I'm just kind of working my way from one side to the other. And you want to wrap it as evenly as you can. Oops, you don't want to get caught over that part. Head back this way, and you want to wrap it so that it's so full. It doesn't really matter if it gets caught over that bit, but I'm going to try not to. Okay, you want to wrap it so that it is so full that it's a little bit difficult to close it. So that closed pretty easily. I'm going to keep on going. Oops. The more full it gets, the easier it is to jump up on that little lip, which I don't want to do. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, so now I've closed that side, and then I'm going to open up the other side. Whoop. I guess I want to end over here by the little forked side, so that when I open up the other side, the yarn's right there, and I just have to leapfrog over to it. You don't have to cut the yarn and rejoin it for the second side. You can just have that little bridge of yarn across. That's perfectly fine. And we're going to wrap this side as full as the other. You want to get them as close to equal as you can, otherwise your pom-pom will be lopsided. A good pom-pom will eat up a lot of yarn, so you don't want to be cheap with the yarn that you load on here. Okay. You can kind of look at it this way to see if it looks equally full on both sides. I'm going to put just a little more over here because it doesn't look quite as full to me. Okay, and once you've gotten it wrapped, you close it up, both sides. And then good sharp scissors are really important here too. I don't know how sharp these scissors are. We'll find out in a minute. So there's this little open bit between those two arms, and if you poke your scissors in there, there's a groove that you'll feel. So you're just going to cut all those layers of yarn. You want to keep it held shut while you're doing it. You want to cut the whole way around. Make sure you cut where you leapfrogged your yarn over from one half to the other. You want to make sure everything gets cut open. You want to kind of hang on to it too, because you don't want it to fly open on you. Okay, now I've got everything cut. You can see how plush that looks. Okay, now if the yarn that you've used to make your pom-pom isn't very strong, you might want to think about getting a cotton or something that is really strong to tie it with. So I've just cut a length of yarn that's about 18 inches long, and I'm going to run that bit of yarn now around the groove of the pom-pom maker, the whole way around, and then I'm going to tie it. And you want your yarn to be strong because you're going to tie it as tightly as you can. Pull really hard, and then I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to tie it again on the other side, and pull it really hard, and then I'm going to tie it one more time here into a square knot. And if you're worried about it, you can tie it again. You can't really tie it too many times because you want it good and secure. Okay, once you have it tied, then you open up these arms on both sides, and then you grab the white parts in the middle and just pull it apart. And now you have your very wonky looking pom-pom. Looks a little funny at first. And now my favorite thing to do with these, it feels kind of funny, but I whack it a few times on the table. That fluffs it up a little bit. And now with your good sharp scissors, you can see it's a little oddly shaped. You're just gonna take your scissors and trim all the little sticky outy parts and trim it into a good circle shape, or whatever shape you want. You could, what's the word for trimming bushes? Topiaries. You could topiary it into a heart or whatever shape you want. But you just wanna trim it and make it look nice. And it's not quite perfect, but it's a pretty good looking pom-pom. Nice and thick and plush and squishy. You can use these for a lot of things. This one is going to get trimmed down even smaller and go on to a sweater called Let's Christmas. It's going to turn into Christmas lights, but they're great on top of hats. You could make a little wreath or a garland with them. They're lots of fun. So there you go. Go make some pom-poms.